Good day, everyone. Today I'll tackle the summary and analysis of one of the Canterbury tales, the Parson's Tale. Let's start it with the word meaning of a parson. A parson is a priest in the Church of England with responsibility for a small local area. Parson can also be used to refer to any clergyman in some other churches. Now, for the Parson's Tale, it is the final of the 24 stories in the Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. The tale is a lengthy prose sermon on the seven deadly sins, also called seven capital sins or seven cardinal sins in Roman Catholic theology. It is the seven vices that spur other sins and further immoral behavior. First enumerated by Pope Gregory I the Great in the 6th century and elaborated in the 30th century by Saint Thomas Aquinas, that they are the vainglory or pride, greed or covetousness, lust or inordinate or illicit sexual desire, envy, gluttony, which is usually understood to include drunkenness, wrath or anger, and sloth. Each of these can be overcome with the seven corresponding virtues, respectively the humility, charity, chastity, gratitude, temperance, patience, and diligence. The seven deadly sins can be thought of as dispositions towards sin and separation from God. It is a popular theme in the morality plays, literature, and art of the Middle Ages of Europe, or in Europe. When the host turns to the parson and bids him tell his story, the stern old man says that the pilgrims will get no fables and sweet wretchedness from him, nor will they get poetry. He is no rhymester, nor would he have a story that would amuse and entertain. He says he has a sermon designed for those who wish to make the final mortal pilgrimage to the heavenly Jerusalem. The Parson's Tale is a solemn and formal sermon, long and tedious, on the renunciation of the world. The parson speaks of all life as a pilgrimage from this base, mundane world to the next celestial world, where all grief ends. God does not desire any man to perish, and there are many separate ways to the celestial city or the heavenly Jerusalem. The noble ways include penitence, contrition, confession, and satisfaction, which are giving alms, doing penance, fasting, and experiencing bodily pain. The parson then spells out the sins of commission, the seven deadly sins that man must avoid. They are the pride, envy, anger, sloth, avarice, gluttony, and lechery. For the analysis, the Parson's Tale is one of the longest of all the tales, and it seems even longer because of the tedious litany on abstract virtues and vices. Certainly, the parson preaches with all the force that the medieval pulpit afforded him, and he ends with a compelling image of the goal of man's pilgrimage, that is, heaven and immortality. The theology of the Middle Ages viewed this life as something of a cesspool that man was supposed to struggle through, committing as few sins as possible. This world was to be enjoyed, never enjoyed, in order to achieve glory in the afterlife. Consequently, as the parson says in his prologue, he would not tell a story simply to amuse or to entertain. So instead, he offers a sermon. The intent of the sermon was didactic, to teach a lesson or give instructions on achieving immortality. For the medieval person, especially the rigorous theologians of the time, didactic intent is infinitely more important than artistic achievement. Thus, Chaucer ends the tales with this sermon, which is appropriately followed by his retraction of all of his earthly or worldly works. It is rather obvious from some of the tales told by the pilgrims, and particularly tales told by some of those connected with the ecclesiastical organization, that the church of Chaucer's time had fallen upon evil days. It is fitting, therefore, that the tales should end on the high moral tone of the parson's sermon. This sermon can also function as a proper preparation for the visit to the shrine of Saint Thomas a Becket, and finally it seems to lead naturally to Chaucer's retraction.